Hey everybody, you haven't had a video from me in a couple weeks because I've been very, very, very sick. And I still feel a little bit weird today talking into a camera. I don't feel like I'm quite well enough to be at the camera level. So this is just for your eyes only. This coming weekend, we're talking about Jesus eating with sinners. And I kind of giggle every time we say the word sinners. Even in the verse that talks about this, it puts sinners in quotation marks. So it's almost like even as they wrote about it in Mark and in Matthew, they knew that it was funny to be like with sinners. So anyways, this weekend, Jesus eats with sinners. That's what it's about. When you make announcements this weekend, make sure that you mention the CSM fan page again. I think that Shook made some outrageous statement about getting 800 people to be fans, and right now we're at 91 people who are fans. So we need to up that by a lot. So if you could really push going to the CSM fan page and liking it, that would be awesome. Also, we're going to do a CSM movie night here at Oakley, and I don't know the date on that. It's, I don't remember. All right, they're going to put up a slide for you, I bet, and it's going to tell you when it is. So, CSM movie night's coming up. Also, this weekend when we talk, what we're going to do is we're going to really provoke more than teach this weekend, because I think that most of us don't admit that we really do think about who is more holy or who is really a Christian or who's a sinner. We don't admit that we have these thoughts inside of our head. A teenager actually said to me this past week that they probably do spend a third of their time trying to figure out when they show up at any space who they're smarter than or who they're dumber than and who they're dressed better than. And when they said that, it made me laugh, because the truth is, don't we all do that? But we don't really admit we do that. So what we're going to do is have every pod decide who in their pod is the holiest, and then send those kids all up to the front, and then we'll have a clap off to decide who of all of them is the holiest. And we're going to choose one kid who is the most holy in all of CSM, and then ask if they would like to teach all of us what it means to be holy. We are doing this with some sarcasm, and when the kid sort of goes, I don't know what to say, you're going to go to a clip. And I think the clip is probably going to be Ned Flanders from The Simpsons, because he's a pretty funny holy guy. So there you go. Expect to see that as well. Then what you're going to do is send them back to their pod to read Mark 2:13 through 17 and Matthew 23, and we find out who did Jesus really choose to hang out with. And then leave them with pod questions like, would Jesus choose to hang out with you? And kind of the conclusion you want to help them come to is that he really came for the sick, and that we need to be humble enough to realize that we need him. So if you can get kids to a place of drawing the conclusion that Jesus would want to hang out with them if they were humble enough to admit that they needed him, that's the point you're going for this weekend. All right, that's it. Provoke them to decide who is the holiest, and then have them read the verses in their pod and decide who would Jesus really hang out with. They could use paper and pen. They can do whatever they want to make some lists of things that would be like, who would Jesus really hang out with? That's it. That's this weekend, February 26th and 27th. Good to see you guys again. See you next week.
And now the word of God dwells within everyone. I want you to let that word out. Let your spirit... What is it, Ned?
The good Lord is telling me to confess to something. An immodest sense of pride in our community.
Somebody else